welcome to the Hotbox show, and here we are all warm and cozy in our studio here at the Jazz Farm in Johannesburg, South Africa, and we hope that you are keeping warm and cozy wherever you are. I know up here on the Highveld the cold weather has sort of subsided a little bit. We've got 1 or 2 degrees warmer here today in Joburg, but we hope that you're comfy wherever you are and you're going to light one up with us tonight.
Huddle around the email.
Listen to a bit of news stories that we've got and some updates from Spain. We've got Linda from Chiba, Africa, coming in to tell us about this great new deal that they seem to have struck. So we're going to be hearing direct from the horse's mouth, as it were, down there in Cape Town, Linda. And of course, I have tonight with us in the studio, I've got Joe Lackerdin, who is our Dachafanelio Doris, and it goes by many, many names, keeping warm with us here in the Hotbox studio, and also just Dale.
Oh, we.
And we're saying, how's it to Dan the Grow Man at home? I'm sorry that you've still got to isolate brew, but we're missing you here in the studio, but we all want to be strong and healthy for when we go on our epic Hotboxshow / Fields of Green for All road trip next week.
Indeed,
we're going down to Plet. We've been saying to each other all day. On a Thursday we have our office day, and we've been reminding each other that we can actually start getting excited now.
Yeah.
Because it's been a busy time. We're busy building a new office, so it's quite stressful with lots of noise and dust around. But here we are, as always, on a Thursday night at 7 o'clock, and we're really glad that you could join us tonight. And, of course, as always, we start with our poll. Now, this being winter, we would like to know from you, do you have enough dank to last through the rest of winter? So how have you planned things? If you're a farmer, then you'd obviously go for the first option. I'm a farmer, the jars are always full. I'll say, I'm a farmer, the jars are always full. Second option, I know my farmer. Good thing to know. I support them and keep the jars full. Great for you. Support local, support your local cannabis club. And, I'm down to the crumbs. So, have you got enough dank to last through the rest of winter? I'm a farmer, the jars are always full. I know my farmer, so my jar is always full. Or I'm down to the last crumbs. You poor person, you.
Salty cracks time of the month.
Salty cracks time of the month.
I know my farmer, so the jar's always full.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay. Well, please let us know, and at the end of the program we will update you on the results.
As winter's going away, everyone's getting more and more excited to start planting for their new season.
Yes, I see a lot of posts with people collecting seeds and getting ready and checking methods.
And if you've been vegging plants, put them outside and flower them out. See how they do.
Yeah, now is a very sort of sensitive time whether you're going to actually put those clones you've been vegging now over this really, really cold period. Well, the person who taught me to grow all those years ago always used to say that after you've had the solstice, that's on the 22nd of June, you will always have one very, very cold snap, which is what we've been going throughout the country.
Yeah.
After that cold snap, then the light is adjusted after the solstice, because if you put your clones out too quickly, they're just going to pop to flower, and you're going to get this little I mean, it's happened to all of us. You've got this beautiful clone, and it's about this big, you put it out there, and poop, goes to flower. Then it's got to re-veg. So please vote in our poll, and we'll get the results to you by the end of the show.
And don't forget to like and share and subscribe and tap that little bell for the notifications. You want to know when we're coming online. Because I think next weekend we're going to be doing a few random extra lives from the Garden Route Cannabis Festival.
And I think what we might do is choose a few extra Instagram winners. So also don't forget to please enter the Instagram with the hashtag Instagram competition, and we'll send you some nice goodies that we've always got stashed here at the Jazz Farm.
Or if our winner happens to be down Plet's side, maybe they can come and fetch it from us themselves at the show.
Exactly, because we're going to have a stall at the show with all of our merch. We have these amazing, really warm and fuzzy, what do you call these things?
Buffs,
yeah. And our long sleeve T-shirts and our new socks and our caps and all of that we're going to have at our stall down there in Plet.
Well, we have manifestos. Will we have manifestos?
We will have manifestos. We will have the hard copies there. Come and get yours. We will be there. You can get a member of the crew to sign it.
I was going to say, celebrity signatures might cost a £5 extra. It's for the petrol to come home, okay?
Yeah.
Come and support us. That's what we do. We can get there, then come and support us so we can get back home. Or put us up for however months you want us.
Yeah. But Dale, so what is on the Lank Dank cam tonight?
Tonight we have a twisted lemon ripple.
So these seeds come from a company called the Pot Valley in the UK. Very, very, very nice seeds. Very, very nice selection of strains in their seed bank.
Highly resinous, very, very sticky, guys.
Very sticky.
And it's a real buzz. This is what most people would, I suppose, call a sativa. So this is going to give you a lot of energy if you're doing a lot of activities during the day.
Look, that's
See how much keep has fallen off just from breaking it open that little bit.
And look at Hashman's flat on his back. He's already...
His quiche. The quiche man is keef. I mean, the keef man is quiche.
That's how he gets fatter.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to try some of this.
No, let us know what you're smoking tonight.
Please do.
Let us know in the comments. That would be really great. So while Dale rolls that up for us, I'm going to launch straight into the Fields of Green for All update for today. We've been preparing for Plet, doing a whole lot of background work on our various legal campaigns, which there are some interesting developments coming up soon, but of course, as with all legal stuff, until the papers are in the court, we can't make them public yet. But I did hear yesterday that the Hayes Club case is set down to be heard on the 13th and 14th of September. So they've given 2 days in the Cape Town High Court, and that'll be very interesting. And funds willing, we would love to go down and also connect with our Cape Town friends and supporters down there. So we'll see how it works out in September, but we certainly are wishing Neil and his co-accused all the best for that, and we'll update you every week as soon as we hear new news. But be sure to go to the Fields of Green for All blog, particularly if you are interested in cannabis social clubs, which I know so many of you are. Go and read all of our back articles on the issue, and go and read the papers that go with the Hayes Club case. Because if you're going to follow this, which you should be, particularly if you want to set up a club.
Exactly.
I mean, how many times, Charles will be able to tell us, how many times do people phone and email, get hold of us on social media, oh, I want to start a club. Now, on one hand, the whole club thing can be incredibly complicated, okay, and it has been made out to be incredibly complicated, and that's not a good thing because it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, people are just opening up clubs willy-nilly and not really up to speed with what the basic things that they should be doing.
Basic requirements.
Yeah. So we've got the story that is unfolding in Barcelona, which I thought was very relevant for what is going on in South Africa. Because as you know, we're in this messy grey area where we don't really know where we stand with the clubs, and it might be a very long time, maybe 18 months to 2 years before we get an outcome of the Hayes Club case. So what happened in Barcelona, as you can see with that headline, is the cannabis clubs have been dealt a blow by the federal government, okay? So remember that Spain has the various provinces, the various areas that are self-governing to a point, but then the rest of the laws are left up to Madrid. So what we find now is a clash between the laws in Catalonia and the big laws as established by their Supreme Court in their capital of Madrid. So just to bring you up to speed with what's happening there, part of Barcelona's charming appeal is its concentration of hundreds of cannabis clubs, and don't we know that? Jules and I visited Barcelona quite a few times, and we always try to fit in as many clubs as possible, and they are very, very special spaces indeed. The Supreme Court dealt another blow to the legal loophole that allowed around 200 local cannabis clubs to continue in operation. Now, we didn't really understand, so I got hold of Kenzie, our friend in Barcelona and our roving reporter and Fields of Green for All ambassador.
Didn't Kenzie actually write our DPC original booklet for us?
Exactly. So
Yes.
Kenzie helped us in 2019 to launch the Dache Private Clubs initiative and our first little booklet that came out. And he also wrote most of the section on Dache Private Clubs in our manifesto. And he lives in Barcelona, so he knows what's going on the ground.
Yeah.
Now, as they say, to cut a long story short, what happened is that in Catalonia, which is the province where Barcelona is, they decided to respect the privacy of the people and allow the clubs to operate in terms of freedom of association. And that freedom of association allowed people to congregate as long as the places in which they congregated were safe and were covered by certain bylaws. So you could operate a cannabis club, and when the authorities came to check up on you, they would only check up on, have you got enough ventilation? Have you got 2 lots of toilets for men and for women? Is your kitchen clean? That type of thing. But the weed, they never looked at the weed. Okay. Then what happened? Now that law there was a very conservative government. Then a more liberal government came in Catalonia, and they then adjusted those laws a little bit to allow the cannabis clubs to continue. Then some of the clubs got very upset with all of these officials coming to check their ventilation and their toilets. So they appealed to the court and they said these laws are too strict. And it messed it up for everybody. Because then the city hall in Barcelona, their particular municipality, said, well, we can't deal with this, we're going to take it to Madrid. So they took it to Madrid, and now they've clamped down on the clubs again. And they said, yeah, well, it's all very well, the ventilation and the toilets, but what about the weed? You're ignoring the weed. So they're now accusing the government in Catalonia of being complicit in illegal cannabis trading. So here you have a liberal government who's in a terrible position because they want the people to have their cannabis clubs, but they don't want to be seen as being supporting illegal activity. So it's a mess, just like in South Africa where we've got all these grey areas in court cases.
So somebody carried their way out of a really good thing that they had going.
Yes, because some busybody who thought that they know it all, you know, we know those kind of people, they know it all, they know how to run it, went and messed it up for everybody else by saying, we don't want you to come and check our air conditioning. So it sounds quite complicated, but I thought that seeing as we get so many inquiries when it comes to cannabis clubs, and it's it really is a subject that is so close to our hearts, that I would just fill everybody in on what is going on in Barcelona. Myself and some of the team belong to an international cannabis social club group, and we know that in Belgium all is not quite as rosy as they would hope it to be. So watch this space. And I know that during August we would like to get the dear Patty Pompous onto the Hotbox show.
Okay.
We've got it on our wish list because she really is an authority on cannabis social clubs, and she also lives in Spain. So look forward to that during August, which is our Women's Month. And we're going to be interviewing lots of interesting people and women in cannabis.
Yes, we
So
are.
if there's something you would like to know about cannabis clubs, feel free to contact us via the Fields of Green for All website. You can call Charles on our 24-hour arrest helpline, but you can also call him during office hours to ask your cannabis club questions or send us an email or a contact form.
Yeah, correct.
That was quite a mouthful. Update on clubs.
So Barcelona's laws have always been a lot like ours in terms of the privacy.
They have.
Privacy.
And those laws were set down in 1967 because that was at the end of Franco's totalitarian dictatorship. And they were so scared of the people being oppressed again that Spain introduced very liberal privacy laws And, you know, we in South Africa are really admired by the rest of the world for achieving privacy in cannabis before anything else. That was the upside.
Let us try not to Karen our way out of it, please.
Yes, and we don't know everything and we don't know all the answers, so we just have to take it a step of the way.
Yeah.
If anybody comes to you and says that they will help you open up a club that is 100% illegal, is 100% legal,
Yeah, they're lying.
don't listen, because nobody's got all the answers to this question yet. Just wait, keep it small.
It's coming.
Keep
It's
it
coming.
private.
It's coming. Keep it small.
But
keep it
be
private.
patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the end of our Fields of Green for All update, and now we are going on to CBDNN.
And tonight on CBDNN, we're going to chat to Linda from Chiba Africa. Not only Chiba Africa, but also Craft Cannabis TV. Now, what they've done is they've managed to secure/score a deal with DSTV. Their program is actually going to be flighted on DSTV, I think on channel 263. So we've got Linda coming in on Zoom, and he's going to tell us all about it. Hello, Linda.
Hello.
Hello, my darling. How are you?
Yay.
I am awesome. Thank you very much. The awesome threesome. The threesome. How are you doing, guys? I'm so blessed to be here. I can't believe I'm here.
It's good to have you back with us again, my angel. But now listen, I found
Indeed.
out today that you guys have managed to score a deal with DSTV for Craft Cannabis TV for your show. Do tell,
Yes.
do brag.
Where can I start? What's in the NDA that I cannot disclose? So as you guys know, how we initially started as Chiba was that we used to run a series of live events called what were those events called? Oh, I can't. Craft Cannabis, Craft Cannabis events.
Sessions.
I can't remember.
That's the sessions, it's okay, we know.
Linda's been smoking
It's
too
so long
much
ago.
Chiba.
It's before COVID. So these live events would happen where we have like actual people, no Zoom, no webinar vibes, and we'd film it. And that would become content that we would upload onto our YouTube channel. And we did, I think about 3 of those. And the final one was at City Hall, Cape Town City Hall. We had about 500-600 people that were there, and it was amazing. And then basically COVID happened after that. So so that content got added, and all the panels got like chopped up into like 30 to 40 minute different sections. And then, as you know, Trenton and I do a lot of interviews and things with people within the sphere of cannabis, whether it's doctors, lawyers, going to a CBD shop, or going to an actual grow up and actually checking out what the guys are doing there, like Druid's Garden, for example. So all of that content, we believe it's really important to have, as it's sort of like an archive of what's happened or happening in the industry. And then I basically we approached DSTV. Channel 263, Cape Town TV, and basically said, hey guys, wouldn't it be so revolutionary if you guys, put all our content onto your platform and made it into like a series, the Craft Cannabis series, because that's what our thing's called. They had to think about it, obviously looked at the terms and conditions and all those kind of things, and they realized, no, let's release it. Release the Kraken,
Yes.
And then that was it. And now I think it's been running now for the last 2 months. And it's on Tuesdays at Hotbox 10 a.m. and then the repeat happens on Sundays. So it's about 90 minutes of cannabis content. I mean, there will be an interview there also with Jules and Myrtle when Trenton and all of them were up in Barcelona. So that's also going to be up there. And I think it's important for the sphere to understand and to know exactly what happened down there. And what was the current conditions of them being there, and what was the reasoning. And then also it talks about obviously the club system that they have in Spain and Barcelona, which you actually have just spoken about now, which is quite interesting.
We had such an amazing time in Barcelona with Trenton and John. But you know, the one thing that just seeing, thanks for all those nice visuals there, Boomslang.
Yeah.
It's nice to see all those visuals popping up and to see the names that pop up. Like you said, Cape Town TV. I didn't make the connection before now that DSTV channel was actually Mike Aldridge and Cape Town TV, you know,
Yes.
and he's been around
Yes.
in the background for a very long time. I've met him probably 30 years ago in the rave scene, and to just hear Cape Town TV coming up again, and remembering Mike, and remember going to his studios there in Woodstock and doing interviews in the early days.
Wow.
And you know, it's incredible how some of these brands have supported cannabis since the beginning. And then you mentioned Druid's Garden, who are also our affiliates. And you guys are part of our local organization affiliate program. And
Yeah.
and so it goes. And I think that it's also very encouraging for us, because it's really, Fields of Green often feels like we're sort of on our own, you know, shouting out there in the media, and then now with you guys on board, it's spreading out. It's spreading out so nicely. So I'm really pleased about that.
Yeah.
So
And I'm happy that with it's you guys, it's quality information. We know that it's quality, well-researched, well-thought content that you put out.
And it's content suited to the platform that it's going through as well.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Yes. I mean, the initial idea. I mean, everyone has a part to play in this industry, you know, and the more we can be out there to basically show people that it's actually normal people with kids with problems that are in the cannabis space. We're not all like drug addicts doing things that we shouldn't be doing. We're actually, you know, people who are professionals, and that we work within the space because we choose to, because it's a life choice, and it's a choice of purpose also, and also watching, you know, the Dacha couple all the years. I mean, I was still in high school, you know, when you guys were doing your thing, and now to be, you know, sort of affiliated with you and what you guys are doing is a big honor for me, and I didn't know that I would find myself, you know, on this path. And I realize a lot of people don't know that cannabis is not necessarily your path, but it could be a starting point for you, and having this sort of platform that we currently have now exposes all the different facets of it, and allows people to engage all the different types. Like, a lot of people didn't know that you can become like a lab, so sort of like assistant, you know, to work within profiling cannabinoids, you know, which is a whole nother different type of career, and that people are still, you know, discovering new things about that. People didn't know that you could become a cannabis like therapist, you know, like you could use within your therapies for massaging and so on. So the more we speak and the more we showcase what this industry has, the more people I'm sure are going to gravitate towards it, because it's what it does, you know, end of the day.
And you know, I also think that it's very important that it's on the DSTV platform. Because, you know, when Trial of the Plant, when we hit the snag in court and we couldn't live stream from our website, our first choice was for the SABC to take the stream. Because then we know that is going out to so many and a diverse amount of households. And DSTV has been so aggressively marketed to kind of suburban South Africa that I think many more people than we realize still rely on their decoder for their TV.
Yeah.
You know, they're not streaming stuff like we are all the time.
Yeah.
So well done on that platform, and I'd like to just thank Mike. Maybe Mike, if he's watching, and the people at Cape Town TV, also thank you for welcoming our brothers and sisters into your channel, because we've got to try and feed this beast in all of these different platforms, and DSTV and the old-fashioned dish is often left behind, you know. I think that's great.
No.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just so exciting, my brother. Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's about all we've got time for right now.
I think
we
it
will be
is.
spending some time with you next weekend.
Yes,
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I'm
Yes,
so excited.
we're coming out to Plets. Yes, we're coming out to Plets. Woohoo!
coming down to
Holiday,
Plets.
baby.
So if you're anywhere near Platt and you want to come and meet this gorgeous man, he will be at my side, and yes, and we'll see you at Platt at the Garden Route Canna Cup and Festival
Yes.
next weekend. See you on Saturday morning. Cheers, brother.
Be
Thank
there.
you so much.
Cheers, man. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep warm.
I will.
Oh, I'm such a honey. Sure.
So, Boomslang and Just Dale have been quite busy out and about in our capital city of Pretoria. They're behind the Boerewors curtain this last week. They braved the cold and went out to visit our Khoi and San brothers and sisters who have been camped out there in protest against the dreadful treatment of our first people of South Africa. And I think that they had an interesting time and came back with a little video that Boomslang has so expertly edited for us. Eh?
Yes, he
Isn't
has.
it amazing? So Dale, how was it going out there to the capital city?
It was quite exciting actually, but I think the biggest statement of all was to see the Khoisan people squatting at the foot of Nelson Mandela. Literally at the foot of the Nelson Mandela statue, the giant thing on the lawns, there squats the Khoisan people.
Yeah.
And it really needs to be seen a lot more. People need to understand quite how big thing it is, you know.
Yeah, they've been there too long.
They've been there way too long. It's
Nearly
2.5
3 years,
years.
yeah.
Doing nothing
Yeah.
about it. So.
And yes, it used to be a big tourist destination, but now there aren't so many people walking by there. You know, there's no tourists
No.
going through there. There's no one recognizing what is actually happening. There'll be
Especially
people
through the
taking
pandemic.
pictures. Yeah.
And I think the fact that those union buildings are so incredibly imposing, you know, they stand there on the hill in their semicircle and look down on the city of Pretoria, and that's got such an incredibly rich history. You know, the building was built by Sir Herbert Baker, and it really is in that very staunch Victorian colonial tradition. And just the contrast of that, you know, in between this colonial building, the big Nelson Mandela statue, you know, the savior of South Africa.
And there's little tents.
And there's
at
little
those
tents
feet.
and small people camped there with their
Small in comparison
garden.
to this
You got your
Yeah.
you got your fancy, perfectly cut garden beds and stuff like that, and then you got all this like random veggie patches and stuff where they are. So the government has seemed to pretty much leave that entire area where they're staying to just
Yeah.
kind of grow
Yeah,
how
they don't touch it.
they don't touch it. They just do the landscape.
Well, it would be
They run around the tents.
Yeah.
It would be a PR nightmare. Imagine if they went to go and try and evict the people
They
from
try.
there. Yeah. So
Yeah, and
do
it's not just ganja they're growing there. So they have plenty of other
Full
herbs.
sustaining. drying.
Full sustainable almost, yeah. So they have veggies, they have sage growing there and yarrow all over the bed, so they understand their plant communication and their
yeah,
you know,
companion planting
companion
and
planting,
all of
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was quite a humbling experience.
And I think that some of the seed banks have been to visit and donated them some seeds as well. So Mr. Turkey over there, do you have a little video for us? Fields of Green for All and our Hotbox team went to go and visit members of the Khoi and San community who have been camped out in protest at the Pretoria Union Buildings, which is our state building here in South Africa, for the last 3 years.
Today, King Khoi Sanese. Well, what has brought us here was we have given a memorandum to the President, then Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa. In that memorandum, there's 4 demands: recognition as the First Nation of South Africa, the language to be official, return of ancestral land, and removal of the colored man. Cyril Ramaphosa came down and he received the memorandum. And yes, we've been here ever since. Well, I think mostly the police and from government side, they do not how to handle the situation. Police have tried, but then they find themselves even with bringing in court. At this moment, they do not know how to handle the situation, because what they know is that the cause is legit. From their point of view, they've put us on the coat of arms, so there's not really anything they can do. Even from that extent where we have now grown some vegetables, even herbs, and even growing weed. So even that hasn't made them to move in and remove us. In the beginning there was our own scene, but then people coming out and also bringing different strains. Yes, for us, there's some of us that would use it on the smoking side, but we mostly use it as a herb side. Yes.
Only way you're going to uplift this economy is to unleash the plant for everybody. Not hemp, not medicine, dacha, all of it.
Yeah, these people have really stood up for themselves, and it's really humbling to see.
I think it's really admirable too, and I think that it really highlights what a unique and diverse country we live in. If you're watching this from the other side of the world, you probably know that we've had such terrible unrest in our country 2 weeks ago, and we're still reeling from it. And there we have these people camping under the statue of Nelson Mandela, and we have gang wars happening in Cape Town, and terrible violence around the taxi associations. And there's just so much work to do, but the solution to everything is a specifically South African solution.
There's so many contrasts in this country.
There are so many
there's
contrasts.
The taxi wars in Cape Town, yet when it came to the rest of the violence in South Africa, the taxis were the ones that came to our rescue. They're the ones that stopped it from happening.
They don't have enough voices, guys. So they're not exactly westernized in any way like we are. Their culture is very different. He doesn't sit on Facebook all day and try to get out to every single piece of media what's going on.
Exactly.
It's our responsibility to help them with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you guys want to go there and get an interview for yourself, get some pictures and get the news out there.
And
please.
if you go and visit the brothers and sisters over there, what we would suggest that you take with you is some vegetable seedlings. Seeds is a bit difficult because, they might not have all the infrastructure to be germinating and whatever, but just some vegetable seedlings. You can get them for 30 Rand for a tray of 6, and I think that will really help to boost their food production there, because these people walked all the way from Port Elizabeth to it took them 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I mean, where in the world?
This veggie garden could end up becoming a piece of history that lives at the Union Gardens for the rest of time.
Yeah.
Because it will go down in the history books as the time that these guys walked from A to B and sat there for 3 years, however long it takes, and set up home.
Yeah.
Basically.
I think it really grounds things when it comes to our campaign. And if we get back to the Dhaka private clubs issue, those people that are sitting there at the union buildings, it's not all about weed. It's about a much bigger picture. But imagine if those people's communities back home could be running a sustainable Dhaka private club within their community, and maybe sending some money up to Pretoria to assist with that particular campaign, and just sort of like closing the circles. That's what we always like to do, and keeping things simple and keeping things applicable to all the people of South Africa. That's why this job is so hard.
Yeah.
But we were speaking about media and the need for these people to get their story out into the media and actually be heard. We had some other good news about SABC2, which is one of our favorite channels because it has such a wide reach. Joe, tell us about it.
So SABC2, there's a program that they've been running on Saturdays called Living Land. It's an agricultural education program. It's in the education slot. It's at 10:30 on Saturday mornings. And this Saturday, they are focusing on cannabis, our favorite plant. Now, in my mind, SABC has always been like the prohibition, upholder of prohibition. Their writings have always been very anti-cannabis, and
I think they blow both ways. They don't know where to put themselves, because we've done over the years dozens and dozens of interviews at the SABC, so we can give them that. But that was mainly when Eben Janssen was still there, and he was a big supporter
we do
of ours.
miss having him there.
Yeah.
Eben, we miss you.
But Me personally, I like the SABC.
Yeah.
I like the SABC, and I think that they need all the support we can get. You know,
Yeah.
there's been hundreds and hundreds of jobs lost there, and they for community TV purposes. You know, there's lots of people who have the TV on at home all the time.
Yes.
So their companion.
Yes.
And if we're going to bust stigma about cannabis,
Exactly, that's
what
the type
better
of
place?
people on that
Exactly. You know,
Well,
you
this
might
is why
have
I'm so excited about it, because that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It used to be this like bastion of prohibition, and now it's doing all of this work to come out of that. It has been working really hard to come out of that.
I think so.
I think it's amazing. And I see with this program, we're going to play the teaser now, but they seem to have spoken to some people that I know we all have high regard for. So it's going to be a bit of a balanced program. It's not going to be hemp versus this versus it's
Yeah.
facts. So let's play the teaser and see what we can look forward to.
Can cannabis be used as medicine?
I would say abantu bayazibona i-benefits ezi-positives zensango.
Cannabis and cannabis medicine is at the forefront of medical treatments for many, many ailments.
Find out more on Living Land, Saturday afternoon at 1:30, only on SABC2.
Yay, well done.
I know, it's so exciting to see it. There's faces we recognize and voices we recognize, and I'm
I
quite
think
excited.
That's our affiliates doing great work again, and that's the guys from Druid's Garden, and we recognise Ash, who is just the most amazing horticulturalist. I have a cactus bed outside my kitchen that Ash landscaped for me, and it was really, really beautiful. That was him smelling the bud at the end there. Ash, I've just outed you on national podcast show.
International podcast.
And we see the guys
darling.
from Chiba there, and we see Amy, and we see our other brothers and sisters. So yeah, why don't you, if you've still got a TV at home, why don't you tune into SABC2 on?
It's still free, remember, at least like you don't have to pay for it like DSTV.
Yeah, TV
so
license,
yeah, coming full circle, we've gone from DSTV all around to SABC. I'm going to be watching. I'm excited to see this.
And I sometimes get just like a little bit irritated, like, can cannabis be a medicine? But then you have to bring yourself back towards yourself and know that there is still some stigma busting that needs to be done out there, you know. So
For long we've been preaching to the choir, you know,
But
for a long
that's
time.
exactly what we do.
yeah, so I think that's really, really good news, and thank you SABC2, and thank you to even publications like the Farmers Weekly and the amazing online magazine called Food for
Financial Mail.
Mzansi, the Financial Mail, people like that who are really supporting the agricultural side of things and agricultural education and agricultural awareness, so that we can all start feeding ourselves in one way or another. We've all got to pay the rent and feed the family.
Yeah, you
so
can't buy groceries with hugs and kisses.
yeah, but
Not yet.
we
Unless you
might
got a
just
sugar daddy and he gets the hugs and kisses. I don't have one of those.
But yeah, like there might be old school farmers that watch the SABC too and realize there's a crop
Yeah.
that could save their life, their
Yeah.
family. you know?
Exactly.
And I think SABC2's also had that long tradition. Remember, they used to have felt focus
Yeah.
and,
Yes.
and all of those nice 50-50, those those programs back in the day. I remember
Yeah.
Jules used to call
Well
it nature shit. Look, there's nature shit on, you know, back in the days of TV. But speaking about nature shit, what about the nature of cannabis and what your photographs look like? What have you been snapping in your weed garden or around your home, of your paraphernalia and all of that? So we are onto Instagram, and let's see our entries that have been picked to be finalists this week. Remember that you can enter by
Can
doing
cannabis
hashtag
be used as
Instagram,
medicine?
and you might be
I
the
would say
winner
abantu
of an amazing
bayazibona
hamper that comes from the Fields of Green for
i-benefits
All office.
ezi-positives zensango.
Trichosa, we're going to be seeing you in 10 days, Brew. Well, I am.
Again, we see
Okay.
such interesting colours in
Oh,
wintertime.
I love this one.
Look at that beautiful
Oh.
oranges, eh?
Ganja planter is my favourite, yeah.
I like the red in the background there. Mist belt grower. Oh, I wonder if a mist belt grower, whether you from the Midlands. Midlands in KZN. Chronic cultivation SA. Very beautifully lit, that one.
Oh, I love that.
And that orange.
Because look at those big orange
4K.
pistils sticking out.
Poser. Okay, there's our 5 finalists, and I suppose as the presenter tonight, it falls on my shoulders to choose the best one. Let's have
That
a look
one.
again.
Yo, that
You know,
one.
that orange is beautiful. I've got
That
a
one.
winter coat that colour, and I love it.
It's a very rich, warm, inviting
but
tone
even
to the
that's
picture.
beautiful.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah.
misspelled grower one as well. Just
It is.
Wizard of Weed, that's also very nice, unusual colours.
If Wizard of Weed
Yeah.
wins, he can come and fetch his prize from us
CBD
at the...
dabs. Have you guys ever smoked CBD dabs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, on the show.
I
we had our
think
name in
I'm
this.
going to go for. Just keep going again. Oh, I really like the misspelled grower guys one. Hey.
This one. Done.
Yeah,
I can smell
it's
that
really,
just by looking
okay.
at it.
Yeah, done.
Misspelled
grower. Yay!
Please,
Congratulations.
On behalf of our overworked office, please will you get hold of us either on our Instagram or anywhere on social media. There's a gazillion ways of getting hold of us because we need to send your prize to you. Tell us where you are and we'll organise it for it to be couriered to you. So please get hold of us so that we can send that because we tend to get a bit of a backlog of the prizes and then it's just a pain to keep having to contact people and whatever. So get hold of us and well done for winning Instagram for episode 184.
Please don't forget to
Show.
vote in the poll while we still have it running. And also don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications.
If you go quickly to go into the poll only on Facebook, we can maybe get the poll results up, please.
Before we do that, can we do a quick Weedly calendar about this thing we've already been bragging about?
I was jumping the gun.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So the Weedly calendar is the only thing I'm really going to speak about is the Garden Route Cannabis Festival because that's where we're going to be going next weekend. Really, really excited. From the 6th to the 9th of August, Plettenberg Bay. It is brought to you by Experience 420 in the Garden Route Canna Cup. The main hub of the Experience 420 will be the Garden Route Festival, will be the Cannabis Expo at the Plettenberg Bay from 6th to the 9th of August. Join us for awesome guest speakers at the prize giving, cannabis exhibitors, a market, snacks, refreshments, groovy tunes of DJ Andy from Garden Route Events. There's going to be loads of giveaways and spot prizes. The Garden Route Cannabis Festival is dedicated to raising awareness on the emerging cannabis market. The growers and the end users of the Garden Route while increasing visitors' traffic and business during the quieter season along the paradisiacal coast. I should have gone over that word a couple of times.
Paradise-like coast.
The beautiful coastline, yes. So the venue for the expo will be at the Pisang Valley Civil Hall. There's multiple established venues for all the side events. There's loads of side events. Go to Experience 420 on Facebook. Everything is listed there. The judges for the Garden Route Cannabis Cup are very exciting. We've got Simon Strainhunter, we've got Myrtle Clark, Jeremy Acton, Gareth Prince and Chris J are official judges, and I believe that there's going to be a tester there as another judge element as well, which is very exciting. So please go and get your tickets. I believe it's like $150 a person, and then you've got access to all the stuff. It's going to be really, really nice to be connecting with community, connecting with old friends, making some new friends. I believe we're going to have a bit of a stage set up so we can do some interviews and we can chat with some people.
And just come and say hi. You know, this is our first public event since lockdown, you know, so it's quite a thing for us. And we're very excited at least to be just connecting with our people in person. I mean, we might all be wearing masks and tapping elbows and all the rest of it, but we'll certainly keep it safe. And I know that the organisers are very strict about complying with the regulations, and they have all of the permissions in place because we know that public events for cannabis, it's not easy. And a shout out to Leon for all the hard work he's been doing.
Yeah.
And next week on the show, we will get Leon Mayer, the organizer, on to tell us about what to expect over the weekend. So all of you coastal people,
It's a basic
come
rundown.
out
There's
and
Friday
support.
drumming, Saturday Canna Cup, Sunday is a side dance thing, Monday is the Woman in Cannabis,
Cannabis,
where you're
yeah.
doing a talk, and that's it.
So we'll see you on the garden route.
Cool. Poll results. You are in.
Cool. So our poll results should have come through. Do you have them
Yes,
there?
I do.
Okay. So we asked you, have you got enough dank to last you through these last few cold weeks of winter?
Oh, thanks to Warren Asbel for the poll tonight.
Oh, thanks to Warren.
Thanks to
Yeah.
remember Warren, we couldn't come up with something. I was brain dead today.
So Warren, we went to him for a bit of inspiration, and I think that he went to his Red Man Bong for a bit of
Yes.
inspiration too, and he came up with the poll. So, do you have enough dank to last you through the winter? Yes, I'm a farmer. My jars are always full. Was 64%. Well done, you know.
Nice.
Well done for planning ahead. I know my farmer, and I support them to keep my jars full. That's 36%. Nice, nice. And then there's only, it hasn't said the third one.
option
They
wasn't
only gave
on.
the 2 options.
So more and more
Yeah.
people growing for
Oh,
themselves.
it only gave the
Yeah.
2 options.
Yeah.
So, you know, more and more people are growing for themselves, but you know, there will always be that proportion of people who can't grow for themselves. You know, they either they don't have time, they don't have space, there were myriad different things, and that's fine, because those people who grow a bit in excess and also need to pay the rent and feed the family and whatever can be supported by those other people. And
That's the way
I think
everything
that's
works
a
in
nice
life.
balance.
And don't
Yeah, I
get
like-
caught up in the hype of having and growing the best weed. You know what I mean? If you can grow what you got,
Grow
and
it.
it might not be the
Long as you
best,
grow
but
clean.
you grew it and you smoking it, and you
Yeah.
should be grateful for that. It
It's
doesn't
the
have
same
to
with
be
everything in life. I
It's like
mean,
food.
You know.
you want cake but you don't know how to bake it, you go to the taste never hate. Or you want cake and you do know how to bake it but only just vaguely enough that it tastes like cake. Hey, it still tastes like cake. It's the same with
The one
weed.
thing with
you don't
people-
have to do it your own, for yourself.
The one thing that people have often said to us is that they've grown their own, but then they've grown, say, 3 plants, but quite nice big plants. Then they had to trim them, which wasn't a very nice experience at all, especially for first timers. They don't realize how much work it is. Then they only have 3 different strains, and they've got the next 10 months to get through. And they're smoking the same thing over and over again. But that is when, quite legally, you can share and swap and
Should be, yeah.
and get yourself organized within your
Yeah.
community. And
Bit of
I'm
hash
really,
for a bit of this and a-
really looking forward to, after Plettenberg Bay, I will be going up to East London to meet with 420 Socials in East London. So a big shout out to great supporters of ours there in East London, and looking forward to seeing you guys. And as always, please support those who support Fields of Green for All. We've mentioned a lot of our affiliates today. Shout out to Cannabis Art Mary. I'm wearing gloves that she made for me, proving that cannabis makes you creative. I know that Hemporium have got a fantastic 50% sale on at the moment on clothes and cosmetics. I highly recommend their hemp cosmetics. They really are great quality. And the clothes that I've seen, it's not just the dregs of their factory shop that they've got on sale. They've got a lot of really, really nice hemp, high quality hemp clothing on sale. Some 50, 70% off. So go to hemporium.com and check out their sale. And to all of our affiliates out there who are watching us, thank you so much for the support. Please support those who support legalization. And as always, signing off from the Hotbox Show, Dale,
Know your rights.
Joe.
And choose happy and stay safe.
That sounds like a very good idea. And I would like you to light one up for Jules. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.